Yesterday I got home from work and I decided that I wanted to relaunch all the ships that I launched in my first video that when I was, starting to put the Laythe Ferry into orbit. I decided I wanted to lose the single docking port connection and go with quad ports. So I was using a KSPX 2.5 meter to 4 times 1.25 meter adapter. I'll show you here in a minute. It's elegant looking. It worked reasonably well. Really strong connection. Looks great in my opinion. It looks great, but it does not cross feed fuel, and that means I need to move every ounce of fuel manually from the back of the ferry to where it needs to be to burn. And well, that's a lot of fuel. I spend my whole flight transferring fuel, and I'm not going to do that. Well, here's the four-way port, the 4-port connection that I was talking about. I think it looks very elegant, but we're not going to use it anymore. We're just going to dump that. And instead, we are going to use these. We're going to use the active ones. Common berthing mechanism. That's the one we're using. Let's get that right there. That's upside down, but so we'll dump it. Oh, that's the big one. We want the 2.5 meter one. That's not the 2.5 meter one either. Here we are. Passive. Where's the active 2.5 meter one? Here we are. And there we go. We will, however, add a hotkey for that. And we're sticking with 3 for undocking and decoupling. Now I don't have a laser cam, the laser cam installed on these docking ports. I'm not positive that I can do it, but I think it's a simple matter of just adding a line into the config files. I will do that. Probably I'll launch this and I'll get it into orbit, and before I launch the next phase I will make sure that I have the docking cam installed on these docking ports. Now you've seen this launch already. It's the same as last time, except no, we'll aim for 500 kilometers. Engage. There's no solid rocket boosters, so we don't have to prevent overheat. 10 kilometers, 80 kilometers, 0 and 60. We can go 35. No, that's not what we mean. 35. Because it's an incredibly light payload and we have a very high thrust to weight ratio on our last stage. You can go for 25. It just decreases the amount of the burn time once we get to apoapsis. It's a shorter burn since we'll be going faster by the time we get there. And here we go. Loud. That's a little bit better. I know you probably can't hear the engine anymore, but it's too loud in the headphones. I'm sorry. Now, if you skipped the first video, which most of you probably have because it was 90 minutes, 93 minutes long, I won't do videos like that again, I promise. Since you skipped the first video, you haven't heard me praise the Nova launcher by Teamstar? I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Teamstar because there's no A at the beginning. Anyway, his Zenith family of heavy lifters or launch platforms are all based around the same type of lifting vehicle, but the Nova, the one I'm using here, is the heaviest of his lifters. It's incredibly stable. It's a great launcher. I use it for almost everything, and even the launchers that I design now are very close to being just variables or variations of this launcher. I'm just checking the hotkey to make sure I actually had it mapped properly, and it looks like I do. Anyway, we are going to skip from here. We'll get this to a 500 kilometer orbit, and then I'll come back to you while we launch the next couple of ships